Okay, welcome. Hope you're all doing well. So this is essentially a back to school checklist. It is not everything that you can do because that would be a really long video. So let's get started. Number one, have you contacted all the schools in your area? If you are an organization that teaches kids, then whether the schools are open or not, they have email accounts. Send them an email, and then when they go back, give it a couple of days because they probably won't see the email. They're getting all caught up with the work that they need to do for back to school. Like 2 or 3 days, maybe even a week later, send them a follow-up or a phone call. Or back in the day when I didn't have relationships with schools, I used to drive around every single school. And I used to drop in and I used to speak to the school directly because it was the only way that we could actually get them to respond. So number one, contact all your schools. Now, if you're like, oh, but I haven't got any money for my services, it's like, that is where you've got to think about your end goal. Is the end goal to recruit new members, or is the end goal to make a quick buck? If it is to make a quick buck, then yes, you're going to have to find the schools that have the budget. Lots of schools have been given additional budget specifically for out of curriculum activities such as ours. But if your end goal is to recruit new members and to make sure that the local community is better aware of your services, then offer them for free. Go in for a day. I did it before shutdown. Some schools free, some schools paid for because some could and some couldn't, but I would go in for an entire day. That would cost about £300. And then some schools would be like, right, I will go in and I will teach each year group, but you have to give me exclusive advertising rights to the students, which basically means that I was allowed to give out my leaflets and no other martial arts group was. So I had exclusive access to that school. And, 9 times out, actually 100% of the time, I've not had a single school turn it down yet. 100% of the time, school will turn around and say, yeah, that's great. You can come in and, basically give our teachers a break. And then you can hand out leaflets to all of the kids, which is fantastic. Number two, have you set a referral program? So this is the one that I find people are less consistent with. So they'll have a referral program, either does or doesn't work, but they won't return to it for whatever reason. So number one, referral programs, you can't just say it once and leave it. You have to constantly remind people, every class preferably, that you have a referral program. We've got a great one right now where if you recommend somebody and they join, that's the key, and they join, your name goes into a hat. The more you recommend, the more times your name goes into that hat, provided they join. And then at the end of September, beginning of October, we're going to pull a name from a hat. That person's going to win a year of free training. But at the very least, you've broken even because they've brought in a new member. Then it's your job to retain them for a year. Or, you're making profit because, yes, they might have brought in 3 new members. And so you're giving 1 subscription away for the benefit of gaining 3 new ones. So that's what we're using. Have your own system. Copy that one. Do what you want. But keep it consistent. Send out emails saying, we're looking forward to coming back. Because I know some of you are on break. Some of you are not. So send out an email to everybody with the subscription. If you've got an app, put it in the application so that everybody talks about it. If you've got everybody you can text, then text them. We don't have a text message system. Ours is just emails and applications. In class, even your little ones, talk about it every single class to the parents, because with a free subscription for a year or free membership for a year, it's the parents you're talking to anyway, because those are the ones that pay the subscriptions. So they're the ones who are going to recommend you to other people. So that's number 2. Number 3, are you on your social media game? So there are multiple ways of doing this. If you want to speak about Google and how you can get leads for free through your website by getting to the top of the Google search every time somebody types in like kickboxing or martial arts or something in your area, there are ways of doing that. I would simply point you in the direction of Matt Chapman. He's significantly better at it than I am. If you are more Facebook orientated, which I am, then are you putting stuff up on there daily, preferably pictures, notes, adverts from time to time? I've been on some Facebook pages where it's literally advert, nothing for a month, advert, nothing for a month. So you're only using your Facebook page as a way of trying to advertise your club, whereas what you should be doing is using a Facebook page as like a window into your club or your school. So if you go to mine, you'll see that we've got pictures of kids classes, adults classes. We've got what we're doing this week. If Mr. Harfield's unwell, there's a picture of me looking unwell. It's like, I'm really sorry, kids, I can't come in today. Just using it as like a window into how you operate. And then every so often you'll see an advert for something. And that's one way of doing it, and you can get people to like and share, but organic reach is a bit rubbish. Another way of doing it is either learn how to do Facebook ads yourself, in which case I would point you to two people there. That would be Donovan Wint and Matt Chapman, or pay someone to do it for you. Lots of people to do that. Those of you who know me know my circle. I'm gonna shoot you straight to Donovan. He's great at it. But it's, you got to be on social media, regardless of what your audience is. So if it's parents, for children, clearly for children, for like youngsters, so non-teens, then that's kind of my generation, and my generation is predominantly on Facebook. If you're going for a little bit younger, so you're going to have hits from Facebook and Instagram, because the generation that's younger than me is obviously having children, and they're a little bit more keyed into Instagram. If it's the older generation, it could be a mixture of Facebook and LinkedIn, Twitter. I don't use, couldn't advise. Same with TikTok. I don't know enough about it to advise. But you got to find what platform works best for you, and then just hone in on that platform. Don't try and go across all of them. You're going to waste your time. So become an expert in one. But if you don't have the time to do that, hire somebody to do that. Get an expert to do it for you. Otherwise, you're just throwing good money after bad. You're not going to get results. And this is usually when people are like, oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It does. You just haven't done it properly. Sorry. Number 4, leafleting. Oh no, not leafleting. Okay, it doesn't work. Yeah, you know what? Leafleting is probably not as effective as it used to be, but it is still effective. And what you've got to bear in mind is that you need a triangulation effect. So you need something in each quadrant or each area so that you are well known in your community. Leafleting is still a good way of driving visibility, even if it doesn't drive leads coming through the front door. Don't do it yourself. What we do, and we've done it many times now, is we will go to the members and say, hey, look, guys, it takes us an hour to do 120 leaflets because I've timed it. That's the average. But there's with our club, there's like 300 of you. Could you all take 20 leaflets each and just do your street, or go for a wander? And, when you're walking the dog, just leaflets and, some leaflets. So there's a way around it so that you don't have to do it yourself. If you have an expansive team, go to the team and go, right, there's 120 each. I want to see if you can beat my 1 hour record. Go. But don't forget to give them different streets. If it's your team, you can be a little bit more managerial about it. So you can be like, right, you're doing that street, you're doing that street, you're doing that street. Otherwise, we're all doing the same street, because they might live next to each other. It's like, no, we can't do that because it's not effective. So leafleting sounds silly, still do it. Number 5, I think. Have you set up your calendar to at least Christmas? I know that some people have done it beyond Christmas, which is great. They've done the whole of 2023. And what I mean by a calendar is, do students know when they're grading? Do students know when the Christmas shutdown is? Do students know when your Christmas celebrations are? If you do this sort of thing for the next year, do they know when your parents' nights out are, your Nerf parties, your availability for birthday parties? Do they know when next year's gradings are? Do they know when your summer barbecue is? We do summer barbecue. It's great. Do they know when championships or tournaments are, if that's the type of thing that you do? Now, the reason that this is important is because it helps to steer back into retention. You know by now, I'm all about retention. That's kind of like my area, keeping a hold of the members for years and years and years. And one of the best ways you can do that is to make sure that the members know exactly where they're headed to. As an example, we have a grading in September 26th, dependent upon the location. Part of the reason that is because I had to move it because of things that happened, but at the same time, it also gives them something to aim towards. Part and parcel of strong retention is always making sure that your members' goals are set, reset, and set again. And these are usually in the form of belts. But what will also help is if a parent wants their child to go to a specific event, if they know when that is, they can plan their year around that event, rather than going, I'm really sorry, can't make it because I've already got this booked. So you want parents and you want members to try to book around you, basically, but they can only do that if you give them enough time to do so. And so then you start to see is that instead of martial arts moving out of the way for certain things, because your dates were already there, you'll see that those certain things get moved out of the way for martial arts. And so it's the difference between trying to fit martial arts in and martial arts becoming a priority. That starts with your calendar. So have you got at least until Christmas sorted out in your calendar so the members know exactly where they stand. Preferably, if you're able to do so, plan the whole of next year as well. Like I said, some people do. I think Leanne Lazenby, if I'm not mistaken, I saw the other day that you've already got 2023 planned, which is awesome. You're much better at that than I am. So I'm going to take a leaf out of your book and I'm going to get the whole of 2023 planned. But I'll probably plan that sometime in November. We're planned up to Christmas, which is great. But yeah, at least, guys, come on, at least until Christmas time. Because then, you know, they know where they're headed. And somebody who's on a path, somebody who's got a goal, they're going to stick there. And so your ability to retain them and your retention is only going to get better. Okay, so that was like 5 things. I don't want this video to go on forever because, you know, nobody gets to the end of it. But I just wanted to kind of, now that we're getting towards back to school, I mean, for us, back to school is next week. That's when people go back. We shut down for 10 days. I personally go back on the 5th of September. I so don't care about my holidays. But we've got to make sure that when we go back, we're not trying to get those cogs turning. They're already on the go. You don't want to get back to school, or you don't want your members to get back to school and then start putting everything into action. You want it set and in stone before everybody goes back, because then you can just literally pick up and run with it. If you're trying to build momentum when you get back into September, it's already too late. So you've got just a little bit of time now before some schools go back next week. I know some schools have already gone back this week. You're in that kind of like what I would deem a danger zone. So once the schools and once the students and everybody have kind of like settled down, they're not going to want to interrupt their new routine. So you need to be a part of that settling down process. So you need to act like right now. Other than that, take it easy. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye for now.